Well, NASA released high-definition video of the sun from its space-based solar observatory. The observatory takes high-resolution images of the sun every 12 seconds in 10 wavelengths of invisible UV light. Each wavelength highlights a different temperature of solar material, and each is represented by a color. The images are then combined by specialists who spend up to 10 hours to create 1 minute of footage.
Hey out there. This is October 7th, 2015. I'm in Northern California and it's just about 5 minutes after 9 in the morning here, and today I wanted to talk about a few things, current events, some of the stuff on the Alex Jones show, and I want to talk about this widespread pseudo sense of freedom and security that so many people enjoy, if you want to call a pseudo sense of reality basically enjoyable. But let's start out by talking about some of the current events in the world. And we got the downing of the that was the last week, 1 week from today. And it was, I think, 244 people were killed on this Russian airliner, and innocent people, civilians, if you will. And so the evidence is pointing to this idea that it was a terrorist attack, either a bomb within the airplane or something that was shot, from the ground, a missile that hit the plane. For whatever reason, the Russians were reluctant to believe it was a terrorist attack. They didn't think that the terrorists had that kind of weaponry or capability, but apparently the security was a bit lax at the airport in Egypt and where the plane loaded, and so anyhow, it's not a good thing when people are murdered, and cold-bloodedly at that. So this is a concern to humanity, and it's pretty ugly. It's really pretty ugly. It makes me think that all the grace that was granted, given freely to humanity through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, dying on the cross for us, sinners, unworthy at all of what was being done for us, given to us, and we've squandered that grace. We have made not an iota of progress, and it's shameful, and we've got to be honest that this is not okay, that the destination where we're being led to by the New World Order types, okay, this elitist club of fascist monsters. They're illegitimate overlords. The only reason they rule over humanity and manipulate us and steer us into the direction they want us to go is because they're willing to do those things that normal people are not willing to do. People that have a conscience, that have integrity, that have honor, that value their soul, and they value things like karma, as you sow, so you reap. What goes around comes around, all that sort of thing. The mercy you have shown others, you too will be shown, or conversely, not shown. These are the people. They're willing to trample all over basic divine precepts like the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And of course, by default, conversely, don't treat people in a manner you don't wish to be treated. They scoff at these things. These are mockers of God. These are hypocrites. Over and over and over in the Bible, Jesus called these people hypocrites. And that's what they are. They're a repugnant lot. And their fruits are rotten and they stink to high heaven. But it is possible to expose these evil people without offending them in a way that they can at all rightly detest you. I cannot live my life in fear of an assassin's bullet, not from anyone, not from, the Pope, presidents, or any of the minions thereof, any of these elitists. I can't worry about that. And, the Federal Reserve, anybody that, I try to expose, I am not doing it to offend them. I'm doing it in a way that I'm compelled to do it, that I must do it in being true to myself and my conscience. And that's really the end of the story. And if they want to hate me because of that, or anybody else that exposes them, that's their prerogative. They have that right. But, in all fairness, I must warn them that they are headed straight to hell. They're going to a very painful place because all that is written in Scripture will come to pass. And the wicked will be separated from the righteous. This is all coming. And guys like me, guys like Jesus, I just learned, how to admonish another human being through the way Jesus did it. He laid it on the line. He said it as it was, much more eloquently and poetically than I could. But, he made it clear that it was a really ugly thing, really unbecoming to be a hypocrite. And it's as simple as that. You cannot do it. You cannot be a hypocrite. This is why I'm such a proponent of egalitarianism. There's no possible way to use the term in a pejorative way, unless you're saying that somebody else was not an egalitarian. It's about equality. You see, where do you draw the line if you say, well, I don't believe that, that's idealistic or whatever you might say, unrealistic you might say, then you become the decider. Then it's all about you. And okay, so where do we draw the line between where somebody's equal and somebody is not equal? Okay, so we all have equal rights by divine decree. This is not something a man gives us. In our Constitution, equal. All men born equal. Equal rights. Equal entitlements. This is it. We all have a right to pursue happiness as we ourselves define, and nobody else can qualify that decision we make and how we define what brings us true happiness. And so, by exposing the things that are bugging me, and I know plaguing humanity, I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to be a good, loyal, faithful servant to God and try to win friends for Him, because that's what it's all about. This is the highest understanding. It's so simple that God is an all-loving God, never not loving. He wants the best for all His kids, even the wicked ones. And we have to, it's always about reaching up to understanding from Him, understanding this great grace that we all need, understanding how despicable our carnal nature is and how it does repulse us. When we're in our right minds, we're repulsed by being worldly and extravagant and seeing. Right here in Chico recently, we had this fellow, he died in the bushes, a homeless man, and just before he could get help. It's a very sad story. And I don't think they ever followed up to give us his name or age or anything like that. But, this is the sort of thing that's going all around. Genocide is being committed right in front of our faces. And then we have the gall to call ourselves a Christian nation. Okay? We're an anti-Christian nation, folks. Okay, we've got to understand just how far we've fallen, what a pathetic state we're in. We are decadent, dumbed down droids, okay, of this New World Order class, this private club, this exclusive privileged club, because they are a gaggle of murderers, thugs, thieves, liars, and cheaters that are willing to step outside the bounds of human decency anytime they wish. Believe me, Our entire history has been tainted with the likes of these people, their mentality, their caliber, okay? It's the same lineage, it's the same money lovers, Satanists, those that are defiant and rebellious against all that is truly good, because good is a word, it's a term that has a distinct definition, and it's inarguable. It's not both. It's like math or science or economics. There is a way to do it right, and everything else becomes wrong. That's it. It's just like you take capitalism. Most people just don't they're so turned off capitalism because the name capitalism has been besmirched. It's been dragged through the mud. People just don't understand that no form of capitalism can work as long as the currency is unsound. It's that simple. Conversely, every single form of capitalism, all these economists that I hear out there, okay, on the Alex Jones show, Max Kaiser and Peter Schiff and Paul Craig Roberts and Gerald Celente and Harry Dent and many others. He has all these people on the show because he's a smart guy and he knows that economics plays such a role in our well-being, our overall civilization-wide, societal-wide well-being, that you've got to have sound economic policy. But all people associate capitalism with now is just absolutely fascist, rampant, unequitable policies, economic policies. That's all we've seen. We see the wealth disparity to this day still growing. The middle class still shrinking. Poverty still growing. I mean, this is where's the progress, folks? This is the key to understanding everything. If you understand economic stuff, you understand it all. Okay? Sound currency is the biggest single threat to these evil people because it's nothing that would be maintained in perpetuity. It would become irrelevant. It would render them irrelevant because this is their big method of operation, their modus operandi, their MO. Okay, this is how they roll and operate, is through the money. And without the money, they got nothing. We've got to disempower these people, and sound currency is a way to do that. Rand Paul standing up in the presidential debates and saying that about sound. Everybody should be on board with this guy. I don't understand why there's so little understanding of this. Egalitarianism and sound currency go hand in hand. Okay, this is what it would bring, a tide of prosperity across the land. How can anybody ever say that's a bad thing? How is that a threat to anybody? Wake up, folks. It's not. If you believe that egalitarianism is a threat, you are deluded. You are deceived. Okay, and you're delusional, and you've got to understand that it's not. This is the only way humanity can ever be free. The captives must be set free. How are they held captive? They're held captive to a monetary-based reality that's ruled by a gaggle of thugs. I mean, you've got to admit the people at the top are mean. They do not want sound currency because it's a means to an end. With sound currency increasing in value, just by nature of progress, okay, it increases in value due to the law of supply and demand. The fact that we are continually supplying more than we are demanding as a civilization worldwide. Nobody on earth has to go without basic needs. Not only that, they don't have to go without the trinkets, knickknacks, and luxury items. None of us do. And that's the only way all you rich people that think somehow you can find happiness. It's pseudo-happiness. It's based on lies and fraud. It's pseudo-freedom and security, economic, monetary-based freedom. You can never be happy and enjoy your prosperity as long as people are suffering needlessly, unnecessarily around this world due to intentional impoverishment. This is the definition of oppression. This is planned artificial austerity. This is artificial scarcity. Okay? This is what's going on. This is how they make our lives miserable. This is how they maintain a high crime rate. This gives them greater control. It becomes an industry. And all these jobs then revolve around the problem. And so these people that cause the problem step in as the fixers of the problem and just want to maintain it and grow the problem and gain more control and then tax you more and say, well, that's the answer. That's the way out of this thing is all you guys just got to pay more taxes. Somehow we've got to extract more money from the people. We got the tax against the poor. People, this goes over everybody's head, it seems like, all the time. Parking meters are a tax on the poor. Everybody's got to pay those. Okay? You're making the pay. This is increasing. I mean, my hometown of Santa Cruz, look what's happened there. They took all the free parking lots that were downtown, and now they're paying. And they call this progress. That's why I call these people at the Chamber of Commerce the Chamber of Communists. I don't like it. I think anytime you take something that was previously free and make us pay for it, that's regressive, okay? That's